What's up, everyone? I am Wink, and this is Scream Cheese. Today, we are going to be talking about Ash, directed by Flying Lotus and starring Asa Gonzalez and Aaron Paul. A woman wakes up on a distant planet and finds the crew of her space station viciously killed. Her investigation into what happened sets in motion a terrifying chain of events. Kills didn't see this one. He'll be back on the next review. All right, so I just got back from the theater. It's actually the middle of the night right now. It is super late, but I wanted to give my review of this while it's still fresh rather than waiting tomorrow to do it. First off, if you have seen any of the promotional material for this film, it has a really cool aesthetic. This has a super neon, neo-noir look, and that is probably the standout of the film. This thing is visually fantastic. It's funny, in the beginning of the film, Asa Gonzalez actually looks like a video game character. Until we really start getting into the film, you could convince me that the first few scenes, she was like CG. Just because of how it was lit and how stylistic it was, it just really seemed kind of surreal. The story is incredibly slow burn, and if the visual aesthetic is interesting to you, then I feel like getting through this slow burn is really easy. But for people who aren't so enticed by the visual aesthetic, that's gonna trip people up, I think. This film does unravel like a true mystery. And I will say, in the writing, it's feeding you bits and pieces, but I don't think the way it does it is as satisfying as a traditional mystery. It is a cool way to tell this story, but it's also a negative for the production because until the audience understands everything that's going on, you don't really get access to the more horrific parts of the story. You only get it kind of sprinkled throughout. And the horror is one of the strongest points of the movie. I really wish we got more of it. But like I said, because we're getting fed little pieces of it, the horrific elements aren't like super strong throughout. But don't get me wrong, when the horror happens, the horror is good. It is really good. There are kind of spliced in visuals that give you an idea of just what this production is capable of. And they get you. They're kind of jump scary, but they are visually really unnerving. Really cool stuff. The lead character, Asa Gonzalez, is absolutely perfect in this role. She's seemingly very strong, but also we feel how vulnerable she is as she's trying to figure out just what's going on and just who she is. I would say that the script doesn't call for extremely dynamic acting, but the levels that are kind of required by the script, she is doing them perfectly, and she is just the perfect vessel for the story, I feel like. And similarly, Aaron Paul does a really good job himself. The whole movie feels very stylized, and his delivery feels very stylized within it, but it suits it. He feels very much like a character in this world. And again, his character isn't extremely dynamic either, but the kind of things that he's doing well. The rest of the cast is very much very supporting roles. So we really experienced this film through those two characters mainly. The score is fantastic as well. There is music or droning or synthy stuff going on, I would say probably during the entire runtime. It really gets you in the mood. It really complements the visuals really well. I will say at points it was a little bit difficult to understand Aaron Paul because that music was so loud and booming all the time. But the confident, pressing nature of that score really helped sell that visual aesthetic as well as elevate the tension. Now, also at times the plot can feel just a little bit ambiguous. I will say that I was a little bit confused here and there throughout, and it does feel like there are certain things that are left a little bit open to interpretation. I think they give you enough so that you can make a determination, but I feel like it wouldn't be unheard of for two different audience members or viewers to have kind of a different take on what exactly they've seen. And then lastly, just with this plot, this mystery that we're trying to solve, we're trying to unravel, it is a satisfying mystery, but I don't know that if you're looking for something really complex or you're looking for some great revelation that you're really necessarily going to get that. I feel like your expectations need to be pretty tempered. I feel like we're getting told a pretty simple story, and if you just live through the visuals, don't expect too much, and enjoy the gore when you get it, I think that Ash has a lot for audiences. I'm gonna give this film a 7.2. I think that without the stylistic aspects, this movie doesn't do quite as well. If you take away any one of these elements, the film, I think, has the potential to fall back. I definitely think it's worth watching though. So let me know what you thought of Ash, or if you plan to see it, and let me know of any other horror movies that you think I need to watch. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Peace out, cheesers.